Shalom. Salama. Siyemi Shalom. Oh, yeah, I'm on Q2UA. All right. Shalom, everyone. Greetings. Good morning. Good morning from around the world. This is Q2A Special Report. I'm your host, Karis Copeland. Let's get to it. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. The top stories. America has no allies. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I think we have witnessed this over the course of literally a couple of weeks. Yeah, wow. It hasn't even been a full month. And it's interesting. Excuse me, family. Just a second. You know, when you're getting over the last of the remnants of a head cold, and you know, that stuff just goes from here to here, ear to ear, nostril to nostril. That's what I'm getting over, family. I'm there. I'm back. But shout out to Brother Jacoby yesterday. Oh my goodness. Will Gentiles continue to wake up? Well, I don't know, but I do like listening to Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report. And what was hilarious was, he was all Trump's number one. Trump's my homie. Trump is doing this. He's getting rid of illegals. He's doing this. He's doing that. And then when it was Trump is cutting all these government jobs, it's like, wait a second. Contractors, wait a second. I used to be a government contractor. I have folks that are clients that are government. You see what I'm saying? Once things become eviscerated, then it's, well, I was laughing at another one's situation until their situation became my situation. And the joke it's not funny anymore. And it was all fine and dandy until it affected them. And that is the definition of hypocrisy. And that is why the word says, don't laugh at anyone's calamity, or else that calamity will fall upon you. And now, as I was seeing just as thumbnail of uh, violating dozens of campaign promises. Have we understand? Oh, it was all fine and dandy when, illegals were being deported and that was affecting Hispanics. Whoa, wait a second. Wait, you're gonna get rid of what? No, that affects me. You're gonna get rid of DEI. Well, that affects my wife. She's white, and that's gonna affect me as a white man because now we can't go to Chili's or Applebee's every Friday night because we can't do our normal because we're running out of money. And if you've noticed, that is the story of America right now because they're running out of money. And the way that this thing goes is that if you don't have any money, you don't have any friends because nobody likes America. Nobody likes this place. And I know that is truly a hard pill to swallow, especially if you've been told that this place is the promised land, that you're an indigenous, that you're all of this stuff that clearly the word doesn't say, but folks just make it up as they go along. And as our people have had itching ears with all of this stuff, we're indigenous to America. Okay. It again, that lazy type of thinking, and it's lazy because we've been told and we've been trained to not do critical thinking. And as Jacoba had stated earlier, yes, we're more of a critical thinking crowd. We're more of a crowd that we have to dig and dig and dig, and not just let somebody say, "But I'm an expert." How are you an expert? Show me your credentials. Show me your expertise. What type of advanced degrees do you have? I like to know. I don't even call myself an expert, but a lot of things are in my category of expertise. I don't even like to say I'm a world's leading this, or that. No. See, the people that try to get their own titles are the ones that usually, when the rubber meets the road, then they always miraculously fall flat on their faces. Well, I thought, well, I thought, well, I thought, well, I thought. You told me. Amazing how that happens. Do we not see that there are a lot of the Dathans here in our pre-exilic understanding? A lot of folks that come on in here of, well, we're Israelites, but we have Japhetic bloodlines. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it may seem racist to look at phonetic structures of different people, and even their people will tell you that they are cousins to Russians, to the Inuits, to the literal eastern part of Russia, Kamachik, that area, Korean, those areas. Yeah, Russia has a western side towards Europe, and they also have an eastern side towards Alaska. So let's be real about some different things. How they can, in the wintertime, still walk across the water to islands from Russia to the United States when that Bering Strait freezes over. Understand, this is really the final game and the final straw, because why? Because as I had stated many a times, especially on this channel and on Covenant Awakenings, and when Teo brings me up as a guest speaker, when these white folks find out, they're going to get mad. See, you have to understand what FAFO really means. Not the fool around and find out. It's the when they fool around and find out, then they get mad, they get irrational, and then that's when bodies start to drop. Yeah, they're not like us because we've been doing this. We've been on this. And now they're starting to realize that when they start thinking that their nice European vacation is not going to be so nice, then they're going to quickly realize that their dollar that they thought was, leading all these currencies is not able to lead these currencies. Then what are they going to do? Oh, I wish that I would have known about Q2UA a couple years ago. No, you weren't. No, you didn't. These folks wanted this demise to happen. And as the demise is on them, the rise is on us. For real. And that is how this thing has happened. So now you have a situation here where people's livelihoods are at stake. Surprise, surprise. You have a situation here where they're trying to tell you, well, just because you may have saved everything, just because you may have had a portfolio, well, when the market crashes, the market crashes. Well, what happens to my money? I don't know. What happens to all my stocks, my 401ks? I don't know. And that's just the volatility of the market, and we'll hedge it against the VIX, and we'll do all this and do all that to basically say that every single penny and dollar that you had will come crashing down. And this isn't financial advice. When I had said that neo-diplomacy is the new currency and relationships do matter, I really meant that. Yeah, Brother Karras doesn't know what he's talking about until this place crashes and you ain't got no food. Who are you going to call? Who are you going to email? No, I'm not a real estate service. I'm not a travel broker service. I'm not a money hawala dealer. None of that. So no matter what people may think is something, hey, I need a help, I need this, man, get out of here. Think twice before you email me. And I'm being courteous enough to email the people back in this because you have to understand. I look at everything and everybody, y'all agents, y'all trying to ask me some questions. Would you ask that to somebody else? You want help? There's the Dry Bones Project to get over to Africa. We're not getting over to Africa like this. If you have the means to get over to Africa, then there you go. There's Dry Bones Project. Perfect. What we're doing is here we're working to have a line for everyone to come bearing gifts, and that gifts is the gifts of knowledge, the gifts of our hands, the gifts of our work, the gifts of our intellect, the gifts of our know-how, the gifts of completing projects and programs and have portfolios, the gifts of insight. That's what we do. And you could tell that they don't want our gifts because they plain rejected it. And now they've reverted back to their nature. All they're showing is their nature to do what? To kill, to steal, and to destroy. That's it. Oh, y'all didn't know what America was all about. Well, it's on full display. Oh, I just thought that those black folks, they were just there just because they could never be satisfied. They were just kept asking for reparations. No, we kept asking for reparations because we saw what was coming years before. Years before. We asked for our stuff. We asked for our money before it got devalued because now asking for money isn't the same. The dollar is not the same. It's not going to hold on up. And now, because you have a loss of America's allies, and when literally Trump said BRICS is dead, I'm like, yeah, that means America's dead. You have to understand their shadowy talk. You have to. And we've understood their shadowy talk for a minute. And now you had the Munich Security Council, which was basically America's, like, last chance. Hey, are you going to be on board the European agenda, or are you just going to be on your lonesome? And therefore, we're going to really have to put the smack down on you. Because why? Because Europe is their last interlocutor for African resources. And now Trump is saying, nah, forget Europe. I'm going to go over to Russia, but I'm also going to have beef with China. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, we're going to be the wedge between Russia and China. And Russia and China are like, we're not having any of that. So all this is over in Saudi Arabia later this week, is that you're going to have Saudi there in Riyadh doing their thing. And basically, Saudi is saying, look, no matter what, we're on top. We're here connected to Russia through OPEC. We here have the dollar, but guess what? Our resources and our minerals will be pegged to gold. That's what UAE and Saudi Arabia have been doing. That's why people have asked, well, why is UAE and Saudi Arabia in Africa? Because they're trying to shore up gold. They've been doing that in Tanzania. They've been doing that in Kenya and Mozambique and other places, especially in the Congo. They're trying to shore up gold. And yeah, I saw that by the ASAP because you got to remember, they're the British are just as proud as the United States. They're both going down. They're both going down. And now, when you see in all this, it's now a very precipitous fall. When people say, well, Brother Carrots, how long? How long? I'm like, look, I don't know how long, but I'm going to tell you this. Probably by August, things are going to get real hot. And things are going to get real, real hot because they're probably going to go to war by March. I told you that. March, they're going to start going to war. Because why? Because that is their tradition. They're gearing things up. February 20th, 21st. Oh, they're talking about Ukraine without Ukraine being there. Give me a break. No, you want to know what they're doing? You want to know what they're talking about? They're literally setting rules of engagement. Because why? Because there always is usually a diplomatic effort. And that diplomatic effort is basically, hey, we're going to hit you, and this is how we're going to hit you. And you now have a couple of weeks to comply until we go after X, Y, and Z. Because you want to know why? Because now the European nations are not going to backfill anything that the United States has. There were, look, to me, as I have always said this, the United States was just proxying Europe. They're learning the battlefield of Ukraine. They're learning their lines of communication. And now, when that happens, Russia's not going to go for the theater. All the things that was going on in Europe, it's all theater and it's all political show. Oh, now we're going to cozy with Russia. Nah, look, do you think that they don't see the knife behind Rubio's back? Get out of here. So my understanding would be this. If I were Lavrov, I would say, here are the conditions of X, Y, and Z. And if you try anything, we're going to have so many hypersonics up your behind. That thing is going to feel like you done ate at the Taco Bell cantina. Well, all sorts of Diablo fire that you done swallowed, and good luck on that toilet the next day. That's what it's going to feel like. You're going to feel like a flaming Cheeto on the other end. They're done with the games. Now, legitimately, I would say this if I were the US. Yeah, I would try to legitimately be buddy to go back into Africa via Russia. But the problem is this. What do you think the Africans are saying about that? You better not. We already done cut off Africa. Don't even try it. Matter of fact, now that you understand that they're on their knees coming to beg you, now it's time to destroy. See, you have to understand that when you get beat up and you taking too many rib shots, okay, let's come to the table. We want to negotiate. Russia doesn't need to negotiate. Russia doesn't need to negotiate. Russia is just crippling Ukraine. The Europeans threw in everything that they had, and it literally crippled their economy. And that did it for the United States also. Do you think that the United States can support the European economy? Absolutely not. That's why they're saying, oh, you got to do things on your own dime and this and that. And like I had told you, they went after USAID to quote unquote uncover all the scandals. Because why? Because they can't afford to pay. So now, because they can't afford to pay, well, you want to know what? Now we're going to go back and dig into these crates. And, oh, yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, you know what? That Dumb Diverses by Nicholas V. Oh, man. Do you know what happened? Yeah. America has the Yahudim, the real ones. Oh, y'all didn't know that, huh? I've been saying this. Just watch when this year of Jubilee, these officials are going to be saying, well, you want to know what? We have a confession to make. We're asking for forgiveness. We're asking the continent to forgive us. We're asking because we did this and we did that. Because think about this now. The African Union is in control. I don't care if people see some things. The problem is you now have Traore, who they tried to quote unquote neutralize. They can't neutralize them. And now it's only empowered the other African countries. They've lost control. Oh, this is the most difficult situation for them to be in ever. And now America is the perfect setup, the perfect scapegoat. Hey, listen, don't think that they held us hostage. If we said something, we were going to get assassinated. We were going to get deleted if we didn't go along with their plan. They're setting America up to be the biggest pariah scapegoat ever because it was them that took the children. It was them that, held the whole world hostage. It was them. They were the bad guys. They were the evil ones. They're worse than Hitler. That's what's coming. Dark MAGA. Do you know what that means? That it's a funeral. Why do you think he's dressed in all black? He's dressed in all black to tell you that this place has died. No, man, he's trying to tell y'all that he's the mortician. Elon Musk is the mortician. It's a real messed up episode of Tales from the Hood. Tales from America. You think it's a game? It is not a game. Clarence Williams, the third character. You're already in hell. That end scene that everybody's frying and in the fire just oh my goodness. Yay, the black folks left. Our heaven is here. Mutt's gonna Mutt's gonna rip off his flesh and it's gonna be the devil in flesh. Ah, this is actually hell, and I'm bringing you all down with me. Ah, hell hath enlarged itself. Hell hath enlarged itself. Here's the thing. I don't care what they do. I don't. Because do you know who the real audience is for this now? It's not us. We're not the audience for this anymore. It's the Gentile nations that's now the audience. And now, what the Gentile nations do and what they've always done is when they try to figure out America, what they do and what they've always done is they always ask a black person what's happening. And then let me tell you this, they're not going to get satisfied by saying, "Oh, it's Native Americans and blah 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 blah." Look, because you want to know why? Because they know that they stole the Bible. Now, let's realize and understand who these real Bible believing folks are. These real biblical believing folks. Let's pray and let's get understanding. Do you know what? Them Gentiles, they pray. They get understanding. They humble themselves. Father, let me know what's happening. I told you that when they go through that fire and they know that they're in that fire, guess what they're going to do? Father, help us. We're crying out, Father, we beg you. And guess what? Some folks will get it. Some folks will get it. I didn't say all of them, but some of them. And when they get it, they already know, sorry, how can we trust you? Now you're saying now, how can we trust you? Your dollars mean nothing. How can we trust you? I got gold, I got silver. Behold the forces of the Gentiles. Wow. Nah, it's gonna take a little bit more than that. What else you got? I don't have anything else. Well, then it looks like you're out of luck. I hate to say this, man, but I don't think you can. Mm-mm. You dug this ditch. You dug this ditch, and what? You expect us to get you out of this ditch? And that's exactly what they expect. That's what exactly what they think about us as their victual. And with that victual, it's literally, well, you're supposed to save us. Who says? Because I can give you at least 15 scriptures that says we're supposed to be coming out of this last great captivity. We're supposed to be delivered by our Elohim, and we're supposed to get up on out of here while you all are in judgment. And I do not want to be in judgment when you all in judgment. That's what the word literally says. Get out of Babylon. Separate yourself. Sorry. And these folks, they have been drinking a pint-sized liter of delusion. Pint-sized liter. Oh, well, it's so great, it's so great, it's so great until they realize now they got cut off. And now they're realizing that they got cut off. They realize that, oh my goodness, I don't have anywhere to go. Oh my goodness, nobody wants to have us around. And now the whole world is seeing them. The whole world sees them for who they are. Oh, help us to get our image back. Nope. Help us, help us. Playing a movie for us. Playing a role for us. You can you be the bad guys and we're the good guys? No. Do you see what how this is happening? Because now each and every day somebody's getting fired. Each and every day somebody's losing their job. Each and every day somebody's losing their homes, their cars, their livelihoods. That's what's happening to them. And the saddest reality is no, they hate us to a core. No, we don't hate you. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I know what the Most High's word says is that guess what? He understands man's heart. Just because you have some flattery lips, and I mean, you get what I'm saying. Russia is going to be hearing the same old blah 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 blah. Like, okay, we're going to give you this lip service, and then here's the thing: they're not going to be on the defense. Because why is that? Look, if I know that I'm going to a meeting, then guess what? As soon as that meeting's over, I'm doing the first strike. I'm doing first strike. If I were the Russians, nope, we got our target list, first strike right now. Coordinate Taiwan with China. Here we go. Have the African Union coordinate the blockade with Morocco there at the Strait of Gibraltar. Kind of makes you wonder what was really talked about at the Kazan summit. If that were me, Europe, you give airspace to them, you get no minerals, you get nothing. Imagine the thousands of people and really millions of people, especially contractors, that's there in Europe and in the Middle East and in Africa, not being able to go anywhere and being cut off. Here's the thing, and when people say, "Do you think Iran's gonna hit first?" No. To me, I think Russia will hit first. Why is that? Because why would you listen to your enemy who's a known liar? Their track record is horrible. Think about how they deal with us. Now they're liars. Okay, so we need to strike first because if they're going to sit down like this, then they're going to try and come for us. So to me, this is the most dangerous time ever in human history. I mean, think about this. Let's just put on our thinking caps. Would you negotiate with a liar knowing that they're going to lie and knowing that when they negotiate with you, they're going to try to murder you because why? Because you have a position of strength and power and they're on their last legs. Makes no sense. We can all come to an agreement. We can all come to a common understanding. Yeah, I think Israel will strike first. I believe that more than anything. They've already kind of said that here in the last 48 hours. And when you shut off allies for the United States, that also means, that Eastern Mediterranean nation also. The only place they'll be able to flee would be through Turkey and then up into the Black Sea. That's it. That's their route. They won't be going down to South Africa as much as they would like to. They're not going to. And who knows, maybe that this will be kind of that situation that drives them back up north. Look, there Egypt is done with them. And so is Jordan. I was telling y'all that the moment that Egypt and Jordan are done with them, the moment that, look, do you understand? USAID is cut. USAID was the funds. That was the cup of wrath. What did you think they were drinking when the cup of wrath? The dollars. How do you think it got served and poured out through USAID? Guess what? The flow got cut off. So guess what? Now the nations are doing what? They're coming to their senses. I'm sorry. You're seeing scripture being fulfilled right in front of our eyes. I'm sorry. Second Esdras, chapter 15. Here we go. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. What were they all about? Let me get you on my dollars. Let me get you on my fiat. European leaders hold emergency summit meeting. That's today because they had been meeting in Saudi Arabia since today. What do you think is happening? The U.S. is trying to cut off minerals from Europe. It's all about money. It's all about resources. Because why? Europe got cut off from Africa, and now they're about to get cut off from Eastern Europe, Ukraine. This is the fight right now. Understand, you fight economically before you fight physically, militaristically. Now they're having their diplomatic detentes and, you know, missions and things of that nature in Saudi Arabia. And then after that, they're going to war. Hostilities have picked up. Hostilities, or they may not even say that. They just would say, look, they may turn this thing around and there may be more firings. Because why? Because they have to lean things out. If you try to fight the war and you're broke, then you go down even farther and faster. Who cares about the people here if you're fighting a war on another continent? The but ideally, if the people are already starving here, then guess what? You're going to fight them on their home turf. That's why America is primed to go down. That's why they've already said it. And we've said this. They can talk about the draft, but guess who they don't want to have drafted? That's us. Who said this? They're not going to want to draft us. We are too much of a liability. Exactly, Rich. Poor cuts pipeline and cuts in on rare earth for Europe. Exactly. Kind of messed up because why? Because US is starving. And when you're getting ready to die, guess what? You are trying to grab a hold onto everybody and everything as you can. Habakkuk chapter 2, we just covered this. And look at it right now. Look at this right now. No, you can't make this up. When he said Bricks was dead, I'm like, yeah, that was really America is dead. You got to remember, everybody's they're liars. No, that's America, and he's trying to project that onto them because he's trying to have people getting to the witchcraft. Is Briggs dead? Is Briggs dead? No. Did you notice how that did not work? You realize that on Friday he said that because he was trying to throw that into the atmosphere to pronounce a curse. Did you know that curse literally did not work? And that came right back on America the very next day? The very next day at the Munich Security Council with JD Vance. I have to have you understand this. This is spiritual craftiness. Because why? Because it's worked on us. And now he's trying to have it work on them. But because we've been calling out their spiritual craftiness, their deception's gone. Oh, is it really dead? Is it? No, it's not dead. All right, y'all. Too much. You gotta go. You gotta leave. We're done with you. That's what's happening. There's too much. There's a lot of stuff going on. And as I had said that a whole lot earlier, I'm not going to tell you a date of, well, when are we out of here? I don't know when we're out of here. But what I do know is usually when you start to see these things coming, the fight is literally right around the corner. This is going to be a very interesting less than 35 days and counting. It's about 5 weeks and counting. They're going to fire IRS. I don't think they're going to fire IRS. Supposedly, to me, I don't think so. They'll fire everybody else, but they're not going to fire the money collectors. Why? They're just going to deputize the money collectors, and chances are, because they did have a kind of a quirky law up in there, that all those that have debts, you are actually subject to a debtor's prison. They did bring that back a couple of years ago. And who is that going to affect the most? Yep, that's right, us. You're going to have to work your debts off to society. You have to pay back your debt to society. Isn't that what they say? Pay back your debt to society. That's going to target us. So, what do you think has happened over the course of this last week there in the African Union? I'm pretty sure that some diplomatic cables probably came to DC talking about if you do this to the United States, you're all cut off. If you do this to our brothers and sisters, you're cut off. Understand that these diplomatic cables, they're sensitive, secret, sensitive. Why? Because understand, they know our plight better than honestly we know our plight, because they can see us in this fishbowl. And sometimes it takes others seeing in the fishbowl better than we could see ourselves. That's right. The U.S. is shutting down the government and about to go to war. That's all this is. It's pre-war planning. It's a pre-war cycle. February is the pre-war cycle. When did this thing go? It went as of what? February 1st, right? You now have about 2 more weeks of folks getting cut, and then you're going to have about 3 to 4 weeks of military rhetoric. It's the build up to the build up. I wish I could say I was wrong. I wish I could say I'm wrong. But we all know. We all know. We all see it coming. At Q2UA, the Most High is making a way. He is doing his thing, and I give the Most High praise and glory and honor for what he is doing right now for his people here in the diaspora and over on the continent. Here's the thing. I don't think they'll have the black soldiers fight. They'll intern them. I believe that they'll intern the black African American soldiers. I believe they will. They'll be subjected to base here in the United States. Oh, y'all didn't know that, did you? Yes. Trump can literally give an executive order to have all officers and enlisted interned on a military base. Yes, he can. And it'll be a lawful order because of emergency powers. What about my family? I live out in a, too bad. Come on in here, camp it on out. And y'all know it's true for veterans on out there. You know it's true. You all know it can happen. What are you gonna do? Hey, you're gonna do base activities, beautification, 3 hots in a cot. Can't use cell phones, can't use any mode of communication because why? Because you don't want to have what do they call situational awareness, operational security, OPSEC, ComSec, communication security, operational security. Yeah. See, y'all don't understand. I think like how they think. I know what they know. I understand them. But because I think how they think and I know what they know, I can understand their error and I can see how they will lose. That's just how it goes, plain and simple. Thank you, Father, for giving me that understanding. Wow. But with that said, family, I got to get going. My day is just starting. Um, as I embark on my endeavor of being the working poor. That's interesting. Never had that before in my life, and now I have it here. Hallelujah. All I can say is thank you, Father. And here's the thing: I'm not poor, because here's the thing: we are rich. We are rich. No matter what our disposition is today, our paycheck is today, we are actually rich. And understand, we're rich because we made them rich. They know how rich we are. You have a people. See, they understand relationships. They understand relationship value. They understand that to be on top, they're putting us on the bottom. They understand how this relationship model works. And this is why the whole world has been at a sink. But now, guess what? The Most High still sits on his throne, and we are still covered under the blood of his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. So with that said, family, thank you again for your support to Q2UA. Thank you, family, for supporting the platforms and the channels that support this channel. I'm not going to give you a time or date of things pertaining to our salvation, but I can say this. I can say, look, according to what I say, yeah, we'll have war here I wouldn't be surprised in the next 60 days. I would not be surprised. 60 days. Definitely by mid-February or April. That's why they're doing things with the IRS. But hey, it's up to you. You know, I may just be a blabbering fool, but Jacob and Teyu have the prophetic track record, and they're not prophets. Listen, I have the geopolitical track record. So I'm just saying, looks like something's going on in the community where folks know what they're saying. So with that said, family, be blessed today, and y'all have a great day. And definitely pray for your surroundings, pray for discernment in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. With that said, family, I'll see you all tomorrow on Covenant Awakenings. And with that, I'm out.